Have you ever thought that if you could just have a conversation with someone who you know at least likes one of your songs, that you could convince them to follow you on social media, join your Facebook group, join your mailing list, or maybe even buy something from you? Then I have a Facebook ad campaign that you can use to do exactly that. So the way this type of ad works is you'd run an ad on people's feeds that actually show them a sample of your song, and they can click to send you a message if they like it and they want to hear more. And so at that point, you have them in your messages, and you can program some automated replies to direct people to places or even have conversations with them. But you can also jump in yourself and just start chatting with these people and trying to see what part of your world they want to become a part of. Now, there's two main ways you can run a campaign like this. There's a very advanced way that's very automated and cool, and then there's an easy way. I'm going to show you how to do the easy way so you could set this up right now and start getting messages from people tomorrow. All right, so let me share my screen. Now here I have 3 different ad sets inside this campaign. Don't worry, I'll go through how to set this up, but I just want to point out the price of what I'm getting. So I'm running everything to just the United States because I'm in the United States and I've been focusing on merch a lot lately, and it's really expensive to ship outside the US. So I'm just doing the USA, and these are the prices I'm getting. So the best ad set that I have is 96 cents per messaging conversation. If you're running to different countries, for example, if you're living in Brazil or Mexico, it's going to be probably a lot cheaper to run this in Brazil and Mexico. Or if you're even in the United States and you're running it to different countries are going to be cheaper. Just keep in mind what your long-term goals are. Like, it might make total sense for you to run your ads in Mexico and Brazil to get cheaper messages, but it might make 0 sense if it's not a part of your overall strategy. So let's go set up this campaign. All right, so inside of Facebook Ads Manager, I'm just going to click this green create button. And inside of here, we're going to see a messages option. Let me zoom out so you can actually see that. Messages. Now, your interface might look a little different here. If you see, like, you don't see as many options, you just see 6. Just choose the engagement option, and inside of that, you can configure messages. There's 2 different interfaces of Facebook going on for campaign creation. So at this point, we have our campaign here. So I'm just going to call this Messenger Test. I'm going to scroll down. Don't worry too much about any of the settings here. There's ways that these make sense, but we're not going to consider them in this video. Now we're in the audience here, and this is where we're going to define who we're targeting. So I'm going to do US, and then I'm going to leave it blank, so I'll come back and name it. And specifically, when I've run this so far, I've been just doing on Messenger, but you can experiment with Instagram as well. Just choose your Facebook page here. We can go down to our budget. I wouldn't go less than $5 a day. You could technically do $1 a day, but Facebook will struggle to learn. So I'd say start with 5, but if you have more money, maybe start with 10. You can turn this off whenever you want. And you can go down to the audience section. I've been just doing people living in the United States. Ages, I would be fairly specific here, whereas with conversion campaigns and my Spotify and streaming types of campaigns, I go a little more broad. This I might go maybe more specific, just so you make sure you're getting the right people, at least when you start. You can try different audiences as you run, but maybe start with something a little bit outside of who you think your demographic is, but not too far outside. Now for interest targeting here, this is where you need to think about what artists, fans of that artist might like, or artists that you think you sound similar enough to justify. Because you're going to see in the ad, the style of text we use, we're going to actually be mentioning this artist. And I'll talk about that more then, but it's a little cringy, and there's other things you could do, but that's just what I found worked best. So I did Linkin Park for one of mine, so I'm going to do Linkin Park. Now I have to zoom out here to show you the placements at the bottom. This is where your ad's actually going to run. Now we deselected Instagram, so I'm just going to go through and turn off a lot of these placements, go into the feed section, and also turn off everything but Facebook feed. You could try Instagram feed, you could try Instagram Explore. I wouldn't recommend doing stories and reels. Feel free to try it, but just in my experience running tons and tons of ads, for this style of ad, it's probably not going to work as good, but feel free to try it. So at this point, we know that our audience is US Linkin Park, so I'll just name it there. And then I can click next at the bottom to go into the actual ad. And so in here, your Facebook page is already going to be selected. You can scroll down and go to Add Media right here. And in Add Media, I'm going to do Add Video. Now there's about 1 billion different types of videos you could try. I would recommend performance-oriented video. So I just have a video where I'm just singing along to one of my songs, and I put the lyrics at the bottom, and that's what I used. It's very easy to make this, and it costs you essentially nothing if you already have a phone with a reasonably good camera. I used a real camera, but you could definitely do this with a phone. Performance videos I found work best across almost everyone, but different artists might have better experience with a visualizer, lyric video, music video, etc. Just make sure it's something where people can hear your music. You don't want to attract people to message you that can't hear your music, because you only want people that you know like your music. So that's why it has to have the music here. Now, there's a very specific type of text we're going to use, and I'm going to pull it up here. If you're a fan of Linkin Park, you might like my music. Click send message and I'll send you a song. And I freaking hate this. It's so cringy, but the way that I got the idea to do this campaign was from someone who actually booked me for a consultation call to help them with their ads. I don't want to name you just in case you don't want to be named, but shout out, you definitely know who you are. Feel free to comment below and I'll acknowledge you there. But they were showing me this campaign that they were running, and this is the language they were using. So I thought that would be a good starting point, as cringy as it is, and it actually works pretty well. There's other things you could try. If you like the idea of fusing like rock music with electronic / hip hop, you might like this song. And then click send message and I'll send it to you. You know, you could think of different things to do here. You could describe the music in a different way. That's a little less cringy or a little less amateur, but this is what I've been using, and it definitely does work. But I could understand why you wouldn't want to do this. So this click send message and I'll send you a song. You can just paste that right here in the headline. And this is where we actually make our message. So there's a portion of this that's automated, and there's a portion of this where you have to step in and have a conversation with these people. So I already have a template saved. I'm going to do use existing, and I'll click edit so I can show it to you. And the way this works is when they click send message, thanks for reaching out, where do you want to hear my song Life is Short? And then I'll zoom out so you can see these buttons. But there's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, or free signed CD. And essentially the way you program this, click the wrong button, you write that in there, and then you list some questions here, and then you just type in for the YouTube button, awesome, here's the link, please let me know what you think. YouTube, by the way, I'm offering free signed CD if you want one. All you have to do is cover the shipping. So you don't have to put in this thing at the end. I just did that because I wanted to encourage CD sales. Spotify, same thing, just drop the link. Apple Music, drop the link. Free signed CD, just drop the link directly to the CD and nothing else. And so at this point, people that click it will click one of those buttons, and you're going to start getting messages. Now, essentially, like, you're trying to encourage these people to not just click it and disappear forever. You're trying to encourage them to talk to you and let you know what they think of the song. And hopefully, most people are going to say, oh, I loved it. It was awesome. Great. I want to hear more. And then that's where it comes up to you to jump in and say, oh, awesome. Yeah, I have a new song that I just dropped here. I'd super appreciate it if you followed me or if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Or, hey, I just dropped this fan club, this Facebook group, and if you join it, you get to hear all of my music a week early, just for example. And so you could jump in and you could really, like, you know, if the person loves your music, that's kind of the perfect time to go get them to take another action on your behalf. You just have to think of what you're going to offer them and what it's going to give them in return. Now, once you finish that, technically you could just publish this and it'll start running, but what I would recommend is probably test some different videos and some different audiences. So for example, we could duplicate this ad up here and maybe try a different video or a different song. So this is song 2, and then this is song 1. Now, of course, if you're using different songs, you'll have to change your automated replies to link them to the right song. But now you can test and see which song of yours or which video of yours gets you the best performing cost per message. And similarly, you could also duplicate this US Linkin Park audience. And instead of US Linkin Park, you could try, you know, US, I don't know, Post Malone, whatever it is, different artists you think might work. Change the targeting, change the text and the ads inside of that one. And now you're testing not just which ads or songs get you the best performance, but which audiences gets you the cheapest cost per message. Now, obviously that makes this campaign a little more complicated, but it's still pretty easy compared to the advanced version of this, because the advanced version of this involves using a paid ManyChat account where you can set up this whole automated response sequence where you're asking people for feedback, and you can collect email addresses for people. You can send them to a Facebook group and a Discord server, or even send them to a place where they can get merch or Patreon or whatever. This gets a little more advanced, but if you want to see how you can do this, you can check out my brand new course, Fan Growth Machine, right here, which covers that, lead generation, how to build a website, how to build a mailing list, get all that set up and run other types of campaigns. And if you want to see how you can promote your music on Spotify using Facebook ads as well, I have a playlist right here you can check out too. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.